Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you've been following this series on relationships, today I'm diving into the most important one of all, the relationship with yourself. So, how do you actually build a good relationship with yourself? And what roles does discipline play in it? As you can see from the title, I'm going to explore what it truly means to nurture these relationships and to love yourself. There are so many ways people define treating themselves well, and everyone has their own preferences and ideas about what makes them happy. I really appreciate seeing the different perspectives people have, and it's always interesting to see how others take care of themselves. But in this video, I want to dig a little deeper into what it truly means to treat yourself well. And there was a time when I thought I was loving myself, but in reality, a lot of my actions were just covering up my weaknesses, or making it look like I was taking care of myself rather than genuinely doing it out of self-love. I've realized that loving myself comes from both my thoughts and my actions. And it's not all about what I have, it's about the feelings okay inside, staying calm and truly appreciating myself. One of the biggest lessons I've learned about self-love is that it involves both discipline, knowledge, and also education. At first, I thought loving myself just meant doing whatever I wanted as long as I wasn't hurting anyone. And while that's partly true, but it's not the whole picture. And so let me give you some examples to explain that better. For example, let's say there's a guy, let's call him D. He's a regular normal guy with a stable office job. He pays his bills on time, hangs out with friends on weekends, and spends his evenings gaming or watching Netflix. And from the outside, everything seems fine. He's polite, dresses okay, and comes across as easygoing. But here's the thing, he rarely exercises because he feels too tired after work, and he doesn't like cooking. So most of his meals are fast food or pre-made because it's easier and quicker. Even though he's talked about wanting a better job or saving money, he ends up spending a lot of his paychecks on gadgets or online sales instead of investing in himself. When challenges come up, he tends to procrastinate, complains, or just give up because he hasn't built the discipline to stay committed. He might say he wants to learn coding or advance his career, but most nights, he just ends up scrolling on his phone or watching the latest shows. He might even buy books or sign up for the online courses, but they ended up collecting dust as if buying the book is the same as doing the work. So at first glance, they might seem confident and put together. He might even post all the right thing online, but when we look a bit closer, we can see that his lack of self-discipline, and so he should not truly care of his long-term health or his future goals. This kind of avoidance shows that he is not really interested in his potential, and that his versions of self-love is more about appearances than actually building something solid inside. And let me give you another example. I have a friend, let's call her Anne. I've known Anne for years, and she's been dealing with her anxiety for a while. One day, we sat down to chat about how she was doing. Anne is the kind of a person who loves researching everything. She knows a lot about mental health, and she often introduced me to the concept I've ever heard of before. For our conversations, it's clear that she is very aware of how much her anxiety affects her life. She even has a therapist and takes medications to help her feel calmer. But here's the thing, even though she knows so much about her conditions and the techniques recommended by experts like practicing mindfulness or applying what she learned in therapy, He often spends a lot of her energy feeling frustrated about how unfair life seems. She might say things like, why can't my life just be the way I want it to be? Or why am I like this? She struggles to accept where she is right now and sometimes blames herself for her situations. But she doesn't really take any concrete step to growth. Instead, she relies almost entirely on her medications to feel okay and doesn't put in the effort to build habits that could really help her move forward. And what's interesting is that the rest of her life is actually going pretty well. She has a good relationship with friends and family, as he says. No one treats her badly, and she doesn't have any major external problems weighing her down. And there's really nothing for her to worry about except her own internal struggle. But instead of actively working on those, she stays stuck, almost as if she's waiting for things to magically get better, as though she could wake up one day and all those feelings would just disappear. So, after looking at those two examples, it raises an important question. Is doing what we love just about following impulses and doing what we feels good in the moment? I would rather say it's not quite that simple. Sometimes what feels good right now can actually hurt us in the long run, and that's something we need to consider. When we reflect on the example, it becomes clear that simply doing what we love isn't the same as truly loving ourselves. So to truly love ourselves in a meaningful way, we need to understand the difference between spoiling ourselves and truly loving ourselves. Spoiling ourselves is about saying yes to every craving or desire without considering future consequences, while truly loving ourselves means doing what is good for us, even when it's hard in the moment, because we know the long-term rewards are worth it. Before we can practice real self-love, we need to take a step back and recognize that difference. For instance, in the first example, the guy who wanted a better health and get a higher paying job was often spoiling himself with quick comforts instead of balancing his want with his needs. If he could incorporate healthier habits like cooking at home a few times a week, exercising regularly just a few minutes a day, and setting aside time to learn something new, he could still enjoy life while also taking care of himself in a deeper, more meaningful way. After all, no one is busy every single minute of the day. I'm pretty sure about that. So in order to find that balance and do what's truly good for ourselves, the first thing we need is the disciplines, because nothing truly valuable comes without effort and time. Loving ourselves enough to aim for a better future means accepting the price that comes with it. It's about being brave enough to face challenges and to say no to certain things now so that we can have something better in the future. For example, getting in shape means pushing through the discomforts of exercise and resisting the urge to quit. Discipline is what keeps us moving forward, even when it's tough, because we understand that the long-term benefits are worth it. And of course, if we're too strict with ourselves, it won't last. So the key is finding that balance, making sure that the positive actions we take for our own future outweigh the not so great habits. We don't have to give up everything we enjoy. We just need to tip the scale towards what's truly good for us. Loving ourselves starts with small, consistent actions, and that builds a better future, even when it takes time and effort. Just like in the example, if you want to start exercising for 10 or 15 minutes a week, just beginning small. In a week, just do one exercise for 2 minutes each day, and by the end of the week, that adds up to over 14 minutes already. Then if his goal is longer than that, he can just gradually increase by just 1 minute each week, and before he knows it, he'll reach his goal faster than he thinks. And loving yourself works the same way. It starts with small steps that nurture you physically and mentally. Educating yourself on what is matter and understand what you gain by sticking with it helps you stay consistent. Discipline, knowledge, and persistence are key that give you strength to keep going and achieving something truly meaningful. And remember that anything truly valuable takes effort. And as you can see, everyone has an equal chance to improve themselves both physically and mentally if they want to. And the same goes for my friend Anne. She needs to accept that it's okay to feel weak sometimes and to be kind to herself. She has to look honestly at her path forward, forgive herself, and keep learning and practicing. The first step is to real growth and facing challenges is daring to love herself, embracing her imperfections and learning from them. Overcoming mental health challenges isn't always easy or smooth, but the amazing things about being human is that we have something unique, that our minds and our self-awareness. That's what helps us grow and build the world around us today. So why not use the same mindset to do one small thing that will help us in the long run? I truly believe that the deepest wounds can heal when we start by loving ourselves first. And I believe that when the love and relationship we have with ourselves improves, everything else in our lives, including our surroundings and our relationship with others, gets better too. But the truth is, we can't give others what we don't have ourselves. Just like love, we can't truly love the people around us if we haven't learned how to love ourselves first. So, to start building that good relationship with yourself, it all begins with practicing disciplines, learning how to love yourself in the right way, and then patiently putting it into practice little by little. Discipline and learning will help you stay patient and persistent in doing what is good for you. I hope what I shared today gives you something to think about and maybe a little motivation or inspiration to start or keep going on your journey of self-love. One that nurtures not just your body but also what's inside of you. It's something I constantly remind myself of, to keep learning, loving, and understanding myself more each day. Because when we understand ourselves, it helps us stay persistent, patient, and do good things for ourselves every day. And that's everything I wanted to share in this video today. And I hope we can continue this journey together, loving ourselves more each day. If you have anything you could like to share, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear how you practice self-love and what techniques works for you. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing and productive day ahead. I see you in the next video.